The very first time Minecraft was ever officially beaten took 2 hours and 52 minutes. But then players learned how to skip mining. They learned how to instantly one-shot the Ender Dragon, and they even learned some of the most advanced concepts no one thought possible. So that time would continue to drop, with the most insane players, rivalries, and even cheating controversies that took over the entire internet. The history of beating Minecraft as fast as possible is truly insane. In 2013, players completed Minecraft like they were cavemen, okay? They look completely different to the runs of today, but this of course is natural as it was all completely brand new. They had to figure out how to gather resources like wood and iron, build a nether portal with buckets and lava, wander around the nether until they found a nether fortress, kill some blazes, kill some endermen for pearls, and then throw a bunch of ender eyes to get to the stronghold. Finally, killing the ender dragon extremely slowly. And the second world record would shave off 2 hours, which is insane, but there was a lot of optimizing to do at this point since it was so new. Every new strategy still had to be discovered, and that's exactly when one player would do just that in 2014. He discovered so many new strategies and used them better than anyone, like utilizing this new bed strategy against the Ender Dragon instead of the bow and arrow. And he completely dominated the Minecraft speedrunning community as the undisputed best player. This is Taro Kitchen. And he would be the 4th world record holder ever, shaving the time down to 45 minutes and 7 seconds. And the most insane part is he is criminally underrated. When the question comes up of who is the greatest Minecraft speedrunner of all time, Taro Kitchen is never mentioned, despite the generational run that no other runner has ever been able to replicate since. Taro Kitchen was about to show the Minecraft community the best speedrunning it had ever seen. Taro Kitchen's first world record would be beaten, but he would immediately take it back. And go on the greatest world record spree ever. Years of dominating the category, Taro Kitchen just kept improving his own time over and over and over until the very end of 2016, November 26th, he would achieve his final world record with a time of 26 minutes and 45 seconds. And this run was so good.
Yes!
Nobody could beat it. A month went by. Nobody could beat it. A year went by. No one could beat it. The Minecraft speedrunning community for Random Seed would literally enter a winter. Because Taro Kitchen was so dominant, a lot of people started losing interest for the category. This is when the category of set seed would start to explode in popularity, where instead of playing a random map, you play the same map over and over and try to get the best time possible. A lot of people moved over to this because Taro Kitchen's 26-minute world record was just unbeatable. But set seed players were already beating Minecraft in under 10 minutes. Set seed felt like a completely different game to Random Seed, at least at the time, before a Minecraft update would change everything. But we'll get to that. Now, funnily enough, Taro Kitchen also had the world record for set seed with a time of 14 minutes and 18 seconds. But exactly 2 months later, a player would break the world record and become infamous in the community. This player was named Illumina, setting 4 records in the span of 5 days, and setting a final world record time of 10 minutes and 44 seconds on March 13th, 2015. So, what was this massive update that was about to change Minecraft and the speedrunning community, and explode the popularity of the genre to the mainstream? And the craziest part is, just before this update could happen, one player would finally contest Taro Kitchen's insane 3-year-long record. And that player again was Illumina. He utilized a new Enderman strat, proving random seeds still had improvements to make. He utilized a somewhat complex strategy of building up extremely high, causing most other regular mobs in the game not to spawn, but increasing the chances of the Enderman spawning, which you then immediately drop down, save yourself on this ladder, and start farming the Enderman. By the time he got his ingredients to make his Ender Eyes, everyone knew this run was on a crazy pace.
Too low.
Taro Kitchen had just been dethroned for the first time in over 5 years. But then the 1.16 update dropped and everything changed. The random seed world record was now down to 22 minutes and 12 seconds by Real Benex. Set seed was 3 minutes and 58 seconds by Silliest. And the community didn't realize it at the time, but this update would completely change the way they speedran the game. For starters, one of the biggest time wasters was getting Ender Pearls, which required you to fight Endermen and pray for the best. But this new update streamlined the process, as it would completely transform the Nether, making it a pivotal part of runs now, since they added new Nether biomes, bastions which had a lot of golds, and piglins, which you now trade gold with and you get Ender Pearls. This was a much faster and more consistent route, and there was a few other things that players discovered that made it even faster. But during this speedrunning boom after the update, players would emerge that would change the scene forever. Dream actually started gaining popularity just before the 1.16 update. He was a rising YouTube content creator, and his new world record uploads would start to explode his popularity. Then the update dropped, and Dream was the main focus of this new speedrunning revolution. But in early October, Dream would stream 6 separate times, going for new world record attempts, trying to become the new 1.16 world record holder for random seed. He would have some of the craziest streaks of runs ever, getting a time during those live streams that would place him 5th on the leaderboards.
Let's go!
Dream was literally on top of the world. His YouTube channel was pulling unheard of numbers. He was making that final push towards the world record time when suddenly everything changed for him, as prominent Minecraft figures would start to make their suspicion known that they thought Dream was cheating. Mainly spearheaded by a prominent Minecraft speedrunner named Minecraft, along with a few others, allegations would be made against Dream later that same month as the 6 live streams, because what they noticed is that Dream's luck was really good. A little too good, or more accurately, so good, to the fact it was essentially statistically impossible for it to occur.
Let's take a look at Dream's odds. This isn't exactly a good look.
We talked about the new meta of acquiring blaze rods and ender pearls, and how you need to trade with the new piglins. Well, it's been thoroughly analyzed at this point, and it became clear that Dream was 100% manipulating the game files to get better drop rates. Meaning, when he would trade gold with the piglins, they would give him ender pearls, and he would get blaze rod drops way more often than he should. And the only reason this was even possible to discover was the fact that he live streamed his attempts. Now, Dream claims to this day that he messed with the game files for another project and forgot to turn it off while speedrunning. But the community was never the same after such a big controversy involving such a high-profile figure. And shockingly, the player who first accused him and found this out, Minecraft, would post his own world record timings and also be exposed for cheating in the exact same way. Wow. But this 1.16 update didn't just bring about a bunch of controversies, okay? It also sparked one of the most popular rivalries the community has ever seen. Surprisingly, between two very unexpected streamers. Forsen, a former professional StarCraft 2 and Hearthstone player turned into variety streamer, became interested in Minecraft speedrunning with the new update and popularity, casually starting to speedrun the game on stream, and actually getting a decent time and posting it on the leaderboards. This caught the attention of XQC, who wanted to join in on the challenge, and this instantly became a fun rivalry for both streamers. But for now, the cultural impact was clear. Millions of new people were being introduced to the game, and the scene would really start to explode with a bunch of new tech, new strategies, and who are known as the greatest players in Minecraft speedrunning would make their rise and start to cement their legacy. The tools for speedrunning started getting really serious and saving a bunch of time for the speedrunners. One of the really important ones was figuring out and pinpointing the stronghold. Players realized they could use advanced math to figure out the exact location using just 2 or even 1 eyes vendor, as opposed to back in the day, spamming these and just running and hoping to find the stronghold. So it turns out learning math in school finally came in handy. But essentially they realized that strongholds spawn in certain rings around the map and around your spawn location, so you already have a good general idea of where it will be. Then while in the nether, you will use what is called nether fast traveling to make sure that when you exit back into the overworld, you are next to the stronghold, or at least in the general vicinity. Then you will use your eye of enders. Players no longer had to mine and explore to find the stronghold. They used advanced math. If you use 2 at slightly different locations, you can then understand the angle between the 2 and find the exact location where they overlap. This is where the stronghold will be. But finally, a tool called Ninja Brainbot would come out, streamlining the process, so top players no longer had to memorize every angle pattern. The implement of F3 game stats and the pie chart would also allow for more information gathering. All of this new tech, knowledge, and mechanics would create a massive gap between the best of the best and more casual speedrunners, allowing for the great players to really make their mark. For instance, when XQC and Forsen were speedrunning Random Seed, their times were actually pretty close to the world record time, since it was so new and everyone was learning these concepts. However, the next following years after this, the difference would become drastic. And crazily enough, there remained one player who was still relevant from the very beginning of Minecraft speedrunning to the current era of hyper-optimization. It was Illumina. Illumina had never left. He was a top player before 1.16 dropped, was the player to beat Taro Kitchen's insane record, and was quick to adapt to the new mechanics and strategies, continuing to upload near world record times. Illumina would actually go back and forth against other high-level competitors, having some of the most insane back and forths in all of video game history. Seriously. One of the players was Ben X, a very well-respected speedrunner who got a world record time in Random Seed.
GG's, guys.
Only for it to last the shortest any world record has ever lasted. You see, Illumina and Real Ben X were competing for the new world record for over 2 weeks on livestream, when miraculously, they both would get world record runs at the exact same time.
However, in the following days, it would turn out that Ben X had more than 15 seconds of loading screens because of his hardware. Illumina only had 6. What was a 6-second world record in favor of Illumina melted to a world record by 1.5 seconds in favor of Ben X.
However, Illumina would soon be involved in a controversy of his own outside of the game of Minecraft, and he would be removed from the community and as a moderator. This huge rise in popularity of Minecraft speedrunning would now bring about the new rise of the greatest Minecraft speedrunners of all time. First among them to emerge was a player named Curryway. He started uploading Minecraft speedrunning videos on August 1st, 2020, and he started getting insane runs very fast. Just a few months later, he became the 5th ever player to break the sub 20-minute time on the new 1.16 Random Seed. And he also would get the world record for the previous Minecraft version before 1.16 on October 19th, 2020. But no one in the speedrunning community seemed to really notice or care. This is according to his own wiki page, okay? But so why did no one notice? Because, well, it was the older version that less people cared about now. And the 5th place finish, I mean, that could be explained by the fact that 1.16 was so new. There were just so many new strategies that had to be worked out, and then all of these new players that were getting good times would soon be filtered out once again, once more optimization began. But that isn't what happened at all. because not even a month later, on November 3rd, Curryway would finally get the recognition of the community when he got this run on the new 1.16 random seed.
So I hop up here, and this is honestly the thing that separates my run in the previous world record. My end fight is really fast, and there's a lot of, half of the end fight is luck, but I think the other half is, the RNG manipulation that you do. This is something that the previous world record did not have. I believe, I actually haven't checked the splits, but I believe I enter the nether, or the end, slower than previous world record, but I do manipulate the RNG by towering up, and I already see it perching. I'm like, this is insane. This is actually going to do it. I have my beds ready, I have my block ready, I have my pearl ready. I just need the dragon to come down. It decides. And here we go. It is go time. I get rid of the pearl, I find my other bed, and here we go. The final one cycle. Do you guys think I get it? Do you think I finished the one cycle? I actually do it really early because I didn't want to screw it up. This one cycle is again awful, as is my 1.14 world record. That is just because my nerves are out of control, and I did it in 7. So not the worst, not the best, but that is it. That's the world record.
This is the second highest viewed world record for 1.16 random seed in history. But Curryway would soon stop going for world record times as he changed his goals to infamously try to beat Minecraft 100,000 times.
When I first set out to beat Minecraft 1,000 times, it took me 5 months, and it was a grueling experience, but ended up being incredibly rewarding. After my original 1,000, I kept doing no reset runs, and eventually, I beat Minecraft 2,000 times, but it took me over a year. Since then, I've picked up the pace pretty consistently, and on the journey to eventually 100,000, hopefully, I've now beat Minecraft 6,000 times.
This would prove to be an extremely mentally exhausting challenge. Curryway, of course, struggled with this challenge, taking a very long break before returning, and he now sits at over 8,000 completed runs with an estimated time of 30 years to go to beat that 100,000 mark. But now this is around the time when the player who is considered the greatest overall Minecraft player ever would start to get into speedrunning. Funnily enough, he was actually inspired by the XQC versus Forsen rivalry. This is Feinberg. Feinberg had been playing Minecraft for a very long time at this point, but he never speedran the game. And when he decided to finally give it a go, no one could have expected what he was about to do. His very first run on October 1st, 2020 was 37 minutes and 2 seconds. The very next day, he shaved it down to 34 minutes and 34 seconds. 2 days later, 30 minutes, 56 seconds. He would repeat this process over and over and over until after just 3 weeks of speedrunning, he shaved his time down 16 minutes.
Oh my god! 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 You're joking! You're joking! You're joking! You're joking! You're joking!
Feinberg had just went from a nobody, completely unknown in the community, to the 3rd fastest run in random seedless in just about a month's time. Feinberg would get a little burnt out of random seed and move over to set seed, where he would enter a similar process of getting a time and then shaving it down again and again and again. Soon, Feinberg would return to random seed again, setting new personal bests, and on January 28th, he set the Icarus random seed world record, where you spawn with an elytra and 64 rockets.
I got so nervous, dude. I just shook my.
He then was invited to the Minecraft Speedrun Showdown, where it was teams of 2 and whoever could complete the map first would win. And he and his teammate Technic would absolutely dominate this tournament, dropping just 1 game out of the entire thing.
Yeah! Yes!
You're actually not.
On February 15th, a new set seed was discovered and Feinberg got the world record on it. I could keep going over every single thing that Feinberg has accomplished, but we might be here a while. He won Twitch Rivals,
We won the whole thing. We won the whole thing.
100%?
100%. Check labor. We won the whole.
along with a bunch of other world records. But as speedrunning continued to evolve, a new kind of runner began to emerge. One who had some world records and amazing times in his career, but it wasn't until Minecraft speedrunning entered direct competition that the player Infume would start to make his mark. You see, Minecraft speedrunning for years was playing alone, grinding for the best time possible, and then submitting the best time you could possibly get. But now there emerged a mode called Minecraft Ranked. In this format, runners couldn't just reset for perfect conditions. They were forced to play whatever seed they were given and had to adapt in real time under pressure against a live opponent. This would be a huge new development in Minecraft speedrunning and be a go-to for tournaments. And Infume would quickly prove himself to be one of the best in the world at this. He quickly climbed the ranked leaderboards. Infume would reach the highest ELO rating of 2400.
Oh my gosh, dude, I was so nervous. Dude, the win streak is crazy.
Which, if you don't know, ELO is a rating system a lot of competitive games use to judge your skill level, but he was completely separating himself from the competition. It wasn't even close. And then he reached 2500, then 2600.
Okay, let's get the tweet. Let's get the tweet. Let's farm some more Twitter likes.
And eventually 2700. The highest Minecraft ranked ELO ever. And that wasn't it. Possibly his greatest achievement was getting the fastest ranked run of all time.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Fucking God. Oh my 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 God.
A 5-minute, 47-second completion. And Infume would make his mark as the player you do not want to get matched up against during a tournament. But now we have to go over the last player to take Minecraft speedrunning to its furthest point ever. Minecraft speedrunning had reached a point many believed was nearing its limit. Years of optimization had pushed the time lower and lower until 2024, on the 3rd day of January, a player named Drip120 would make a historic run. And his time was so good at the stronghold, his entire chat knew this was it. Seven minutes and 1 second, just shy of the 7-minute mark, which everyone seemed to think was essentially impossible. And this record was so good, with records constantly being shaven down since the 1.16 update for years. This one was different. This one would not be broken anytime soon. In fact, many people declared that this record is unbeatable, and they were right.
Minecraft's world record is a 701 by runner Drip120, but this is old news. Drip would set a world record that still stands to this day. In fact, this is the only time a 1.16 plus world record has lasted over a year. This beats out Zionox's record, which lasted for 10 months. It's beautiful in a way. Only 2 seconds separates us from a sub 7 speedrun, and who knows when it'll happen.
Over a year went by. The most important, highly regarded Minecraft speedrunning record, Random Seed, remained unbroken. and still many more months went by. This was the longest untouched random seed world record since all the way back to the Taro Kitchen era, until finally on June 11th, 2025, the one player who is highly regarded as the best speedrunner in Minecraft would explode in popularity after getting this run. He actually entered the stronghold a few seconds behind Drip 120's pace. And that has been the entire journey of Minecraft speedrunning.